Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings unto the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. All right, it's Brother Taza Pie here with your daily lunch special, and today we're going to be serving up some destruction, all right? And the destruction that I'm talking about is the destruction of the soul, all right? And I'm here in Micah chapter 2, verse 10, and it says, all right, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction, all right? And it's talking about this current setup, this kingdom, all right? The world, if you will, because Job 9 and 24 told us that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right? And he covered the faces of the judges thereof. But right, the wicked wants you destroyed. All right? So he's going to pollute you. Doctrines, ideologies, and philosophies. Now, this is why when you read Jeremiah 51, it tells you that the nations have drunken of her wine, and therefore the nations are mad. That wine is talking about the doctrines, ideologies, the philosophies of the devil. All right? Let's see here. All right, so this is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 7. It says, Babylon, which is America, hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken through doctrines, ideologies, philosophies, all right? It says that the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad, all right? And of course, the number one nation being the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, predominantly, all right? But we understand from the prophecies that by us not keeping the first covenant that we made with the Most High, he scattered us to the four winds of this globe, all right? To the four corners of heaven. So the Israelites don't come in one nice, neat little, assembled package. All right? The Israelites are all over the place. All right, when it comes to, looks. And we're all over the place, literally, all over the world. But it said that the nations are mad. Now, of course, and as I stated, the number one nation being the children of Israel, right out of the book of Psalms 83, tells you how all the nations conspired against our little one nation. All right, the last people, well, I believe we were the last people. If not one of the last people to become a nation. All right, we became a nation in captivity. That's how we became a nation, in captivity. All right? And here we are today, back in captivity. All right? So, and this concerning our nation, all right? I'm not concerned with these heathens. Y'all going into captivity. All right? We'll get y'all right in captivity. Right now, it's our time to get right. All right, and I always want to play this.
When I say this, the unaware, naive, lost black woman is the new slave owner. And just like the white slave owner, she will pick out the smartest, hardworking, capable man for her to reap the benefits of. What can you do for me? Just like the white man. Once she has sucked you dry, or once you become a...
And they used the black woman to put that in the song. All right? All right, these musicians and actors, they're lesser luminaries. All right, they've been juiced into the program. All right, they're privy to the plan on a introductory level. All right, and depending on how high up they go, they get more of the plan. All right, but just coming in, you get the introductory package of the Illuminati. All right, but right, they had these songs out there for that reason. Is programming. All right, when Janet Jackson said, "What have you done for me lately?" That you see that in all women. All right, because they was programmed. I spoke about the Peggy Bundy programming. All right, I see that. Women disrespecting their men, calling them dusty because they work. They go and make an honest buck. And to today's hyena calling herself a woman, that's cause for ridicule and mockery. Because you don't want to go to jail. I don't want to take no fucking penitentiary chances in life. All right, so I just go to and work. I don't have time for a business in this truth. This truth is my business. All right, I run a non-profit organization. All right, and fuck profit. And pardon my language, but yeah, I said it. Fuck profit. On this side, all right. But anything you make, Esau gonna put it. It's a bag of holes, all right. You putting it in a whole filled bag, all right. And this is that poison that we all have ingested, but the water Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, he when you come into this truth, you're gonna vomit that poison up. Okay? You're gonna vomit that poison up. All right? Let me play some more.
And then you begin to argue and fight for yourself. Then she becomes unappreciative. She becomes more disloyal. She will talk you down, walk on you, spit on you, and tell you that you are replaceable and go to the next candidate.
Beyonce, anyone? I can have another you in a minute. See, this is what has the minds of our women, daughters, sisters, cousins, and aunties. All right, grandmamas. Even I hate to, I don't hate to say it, but it's a goddamn shame. Even grandmamas today. That was the last bastion of respect. Now I'm sorry to say that, but that was the last bastion of respect in the black community. All right, was the grandmama. Not saying that granddaddy never was, but granddaddy long fell off. All right, because of this poison. All right, because of this toxicity that our people have ingested. All right, spiritually ingested. So I'm not saying grandfather wasn't there, and in some cases I'm sure he was, and was respected. All right, but most time than not. All right, granddaddy died long before grandmama. So the glory, for lack of a better term, went to the grandmama. But now you can't even. There's no respect to be found amongst our nation. All right, amongst the world, or amongst the worldly. All right. So our people have wholly given themselves over to the ways of that which destroys, that's the way of this society. Do as thou wilt. That's what you see in the world. All right? More wine that influences the minds of the Israelites. Do as thou wilt. Our people not practicing restraint, all right, self-governance, self-discipline. Now, in pockets, yes, but just as a whole, no. And you usually see that amongst men. And there are some women who discipline themselves, all right? But more often than not, women come to you not in the mindset, as John F. Kennedy said, ask not what you could do for your country, but ask what your country, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. All right? Right, women need to come like that, but they don't. All right? And that's because they have no love for us. They're not coming in love. Love is a service act, an act of servitude. All right, we love the Most High, and how do you know? We serve Him every day. So if your woman loves you, she gonna be looking to see what she could do for you. They don't come into a relationship with that mind frame. They looking you up and down, see what they can get out of you. And that's what niggas lead with. They lead with their cars, their houses, their stacks. That's what they lead with. Because they feed into the sickness. All right? They feed into it. You go to John 8 and 44. To show you this thing is addictive, and it's doggone it, dang it, shit, communicable. All right, wickedness is communicable. That's why we're supposed to put wicked to death. All right, because it's infectious. Well, you supposed to, that's why in the law it tells you stone certain motherfuckers. I had to say it like that, Salakia. All right, it just rolled off, you know. But that's why the scriptures say for some offenses, you got to get them out of here. Adultery, other things, sexual immorality, certain, you know, you got to put them out of their misery. Put them stones to that ass. All right, and so this is John 8 and 44, which says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. See? When you're of your father, you're going to do as your father do. Now, that's across the board. The problem with that is their father is the devil. All right, our father is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and we're going to do the works of our Father, which is in heaven. Which art in heaven. All right? But see, this is the 2/3. Ye are of your father, the devil. The devil is your daddy. And the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. Because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. For he is a liar and the father of it. All right, and that's talking about our people and their, oh man, their love affair. You know, this hot, torrid love affair that they have with the Edomites. All right, of people who we once subjected and looked down on and disdained, now our people want to mimic and emulate. All right? Because our people are sick. All right? Our people are polluted in the spirit and in the soul. All right, play the rest of this.
That same woman is also the same thing that a black man does not trust. How could you marry your enemy? You say you need him so you can benefit off into your household. But these are also the same women that are saying, well, we have our own money now. We have our own status now. We have our own power now, but you are not using that to put back into your house. You are using that to keep for yourself. You are selfish. You would take from that man and take your money and go put it up. That's why they are leaving, because you become disloyal. You want to say, well, give us something to submit to. Maybe give them something to protect. But you have to be able to listen, and listen does not mean control. That never came out of their mouth. They said, you won't listen to me. What does that look like? You're not hearing. You don't want to see. You're being naive. I said, follow me. That let me control you.
And that's what we need, all right? As men, we need to take the lead. And women need to follow, but they're too full of this sickness. All right, that's why the Lord has the answer. We got the answer, but the Lord is going to deliver the answer. All right, in the form of intercontinental, thermonuclear fire. However it's delivered. There will be ICBMs. It's going to be short range, hypersonic, all of them coming. They all coming. All right, and they all hot, super hot, heated. The day shall come that shall burn as an oven. The earth is, Most High gonna make the earth an oven. All right, to bake the wicked. Niggas need to be baked, fricasseed, barbecued. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You don't want to be open-minded. But these are also the same women that's not taking accountability, making assumptions, and then coming up with their own false reality so they could have a reason to justify the behaviors that they are putting out to disrespect these men. Baby, black women might as well be the new cake.
So they come up with these narratives to justify their behavior, all right, because they're never wrong. And this is the delusion that you deal with the American woman. And it's not just all women. It is across the board, but more so with our women, the women of Israel, or the daughters of Israel. You so-called Negro, Latina, and Native American woman. All right? Y'all just won't accept reality. You'll make up your own reality in your mind so that you're justified in your bullshit. All right? But it has no basis in actual reality. That's the reality that's in your mind. Now, you multiply that times 1,000,000, because every woman, most women in America do it. So now you got all these women walking in their different realities. And that's why they don't get along. They can come together to be against us, but then when it come down to really bonding, black women do not bond. All right? They have what looks to be a bond, but it's based in drama. Drama. They bond through drama. Some through trauma, but mainly through drama. Mess. That's their common factor, the common denominator with most women. Drama. And stress. All right. Let's see here.
Okay, with that booty lace front wigs and manicured nails. You're still supporting the opposing team if you are against our men. If you can find a reason to argue with me for protecting our men, you tell me how you are not the op.
All women are the ops. All right. You got to look far. Look. Turn your head to the right or to the left. Roll over in your bed. All right, if she laying next to you, that's your op. All right, look in your phone. Some of you got a gang of ops. You know, you're going to find out what I'm talking about come Jacob's trouble, the heat of Jacob's trouble, if you don't know already. All right. And I don't know if I'll pick up on this tomorrow, but I'm going to end it right there. So to the next one, y'all stay up. Much love. Shalom.